Rightio. Nose is running. This is going to be a video on, I guess, how I become the forbidden unit. But it's not so much to do with myself as to do with some of my hardware. You could also call this a review. Now, if I can remember how to get the battery out. There we go. This is my hardware. This is also currently broken, but there's a story that goes with it. So, this is a TH-UV 8000D dual band 10 watt handheld. So this does VHF and FM. So where I work, we shunt trains and do other miscellaneous stuff. Without getting into too many details to bore you, I, for shits and giggles one day, wanted a radio that would actually get throughout the yard without breaking up and could pick up and send and receive really well. So I thought, for shits and giggles, I'll try this Chinese radio. It's dual band, and I thought, beauty, because I've got some frequencies I probably shouldn't have. But anyway, you can get all this stuff off the internet these days anyhow. So I had this radio and nobody minded. In fact, a couple of my work supervisors really liked it because I could shunt the train with this radio and it was reliable, and in my honest opinion, it's for the price you pay and the clarity of the speaker and the microphone and back to another radio, it's well worth its money. Now, it's $100 radio, or thereabouts, and whatever your freight will be. So, it saved us a lot of times in the sense that whenever there's not a spare radio to shunt the train with, I always had one. So that saved a lot of time, so it made us more efficient, and also kept us more safe, because if it was to turn up unannounced, I could hear it, because you could, with this radio, you can watch the FM frequency that you're on. I think they're both FM frequencies, but the fact is that the frequency range is higher for one and lower for the other. One works up to a spectrum and the other one works down from that spectrum to another level. And one works up to another level, and then another frequency band starts from there, and you're governed by the tuning capabilities of your radio. So anyway, time goes on, we get another supervisor. Now, every other supervisor I had like this, and thought it was a good idea and didn't mind me having it. They were all cool with it, and I didn't mind taking it. I don't mind taking my own stuff, even though I paid for it. I run the risk of damaging it, losing it myself. That's on me. I don't care, you know. Sometimes it's just nice to be able to contribute a bit and help out in the big picture. And the other thing this thing's got is an FM transceiver, which is why I kept the big aerial on it. I mean, you also get your little aerial in the box. I think that's a gain rectifier or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. That's a charger. Now, it's multilingual. You can get different languages, and that's the power supply, which I believe you can plug that straight into the side. No, you can't. That must have been the other radio. I've had two Chinese radios. Both are good. One was hard to program because I couldn't get the program for the computer, and this one I could. It took me 2 viruses and a bit of trouble to download it, but I did manage to get the program. I still got it. It's much easier to program through the program. than doing it through the interface. Like you can do it all through here. But you can watch dual frequency, so you can watch FM channel. Say I work on say channel 10. I can watch channel 10 and I can watch channel 9, or I can set them individually. And the other thing you can do is you can watch two channels, so you can hear whoever is trying to call you on whatever channel. So if you're working with two guys on two different channels, you can then, the only thing this one doesn't do is it doesn't select that channel. To talk back to him on straight away, you've got to select that channel and go, yep, what do you want? But at the same time, you can run the FM transceiver. And I kid you not, if someone wants to talk to you, it doesn't miss a beat. You know, like, especially if you've got someone that operates properly, that presses the button, oi, Dan, where are you? You'll get every word. If someone's like this and expects you to hear the whole conversation like that, good luck with any radio. But when you get someone that goes, hey Dan, you there? It doesn't miss a beat. It turns the wireless off, or the FM transceiver, listens to that station that you were communicating on. You can set the timer, so you can give it 30 seconds with no input or no output, either way, in or out. So no RX or TX, for before the radio comes back on, like the music, alright? Or whatever you're listening to, your talk back. And you can set it for 30 seconds, 5 seconds, a minute. It's all in the program. I think you can even set it for 10 minutes. I think you can. It's pretty elaborate. You know, you can have a fairly big gap in between. So there's that. It doesn't miss a beat. So it's actually a really good radio for what you pay. And this one's had a hiding. Like, it doesn't work now because, I mean, I've dropped it so many times. If it was a Simico or something like that, which are like $600 each, the screen would be busted with the way that this one's been dropped. I mean, this has gone out of my pocket, off my shirt or off my leg with some velocity forwards before falling off the top of the machine. The last drop that killed it, it bounced off of all the steps down the machine and landed on the ground, face down. And there's something wrong with the circuit board. The circuit board must be cracked. It keeps going back to Chinese. I can't read Chinese. And it can also speaks to you too, so you can turn the voice on and off. So you can go through your settings and it'll come up with the power mode. It'll go power or squelch, and you enter this menu and then you turn it and go 5, 4, 3, 2, 0, whatever squelch setting you want it on. And then you hit the menu again and you can go through your menu. It'll talk to you. You press number 1, you go 1 or 1, whatever. So there's that. And it's 10 watts, so it's pretty good for distance. So there's that. But the one supervisor I had who didn't last long, is a nice guy and all, but he didn't really fit the position, didn't like the fact that it played music. All the good that it did, and didn't like the fact that it played music. So my workmates started to call it the forbidden unit. They would go, have you got your forbidden unit? And this other supervisor was so hell-bent on getting us personalised radios. Bring that, that's it, nothing else, rah rah rah. You're not allowed to have that. Not that I ever abused the privilege. There was times when we were doing nothing that me and the boys would listen to the wireless a bit and break the boredom or increase our productivity. So, because the music does increase your productivity, it's a well-known fact. If you're not going crazy, shit bored at work, then that's what you need to keep you moving and moving good. So they called it the forbidden unit, and I guess it kind of stuck. So then, yeah, I ended up naming my YouTube channel that. So I will buy another one of these one day. I don't really need it. It would be handy to have for my own peace of mind and shits and giggles. But I will hang off, and now you can buy a pack of 2 for $200 and whatever your freight is, and I'll probably do that, because then I get 2 and I can leave one in the ute and walk off with one, or one in a car, take one to work, doesn't matter, leave one at work, hide it in my drawer.
Use it when we travel.
Use it when we travel, you know, 2 cars, so we don't have a UHF permanently fixed into one. I can do that. Who knows? But yeah, that's that. That's how I become the forbidden unit, because of this little thing, because it was forbidden, and yet everyone liked it. I mean, this little part on the aerial that's supposed to be fixed down here, that broke after a drop, but that was floating around there for yonks. It did no damage to the aerial. It had no effect. Train drivers really liked it when they listened to you up in the loco, either on their handheld or on their fixed unit. It came through really clear, and they came through clear back on this as well. So there's that. For a cheap radio, it's worth every cent. Yeah, and when I say it got dropped, it got dropped. It's been in water. It is partially waterproof, I do believe, but it was fully submerged and kicked in the water in a rush to try and get it out. And then, you know, like you push the button up here, and sometimes it's a bit of a chore to get the battery out, even though you just see me slip it out like that. You know, like when you're in a panic trying to get the battery out before its internals fry. You know, so it took a lick and kept on kicking, is what I'm saying. So yeah. There was some other function you could do with this, I can't remember. I mean, you can pick your colour of backlights. I think it's got 3 different colours and different brightnesses. It's not a bad radio. So there's that. Yeah. So that's it. Radio out for now.